And welcome back. My name is Keith, otherwise known as Uhfgood, and I'm doing an adventure game. And right now, I'm talking about my story because um, I'm still having trouble like breaking down the story into pieces, and I want to do that before actually getting back to the thing about plot points and all that. So, so I'm going to continue to talk about that in the meantime, and I'm going to start this just simply for the drawing time. Anyways, let's hit start. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so there are several kind of mysteries here. It's like, who is Max? Why is he here? What has he done to the king and queen? Why is everything closed up? You know, why are tourists and villagers alike, or kingdom citizens alike, being disappearing? And of course, it's a lot of questions, right? Any good mystery kind of has these like questions, right? Okay, so um, okay, so the first thing that he wants to do is he wants to bring in some outside help. That's somebody from our world, right? Uh, which is John Thomas. Okay, and so he brings in John to help him figure out what's been going on. And so he sends John on some errands. Um, Maybe I should make him do like sort of like Gandalf, right? Where now, if you read the books, Gandalf like leaves for months, days, months, years at a time sometimes, uh, and so it's he leaves for a long time. So we're gonna kind of do the same thing. So basically, after he brings him here, he tells John to go look around and to just to kind of figure out what's going on, and that he has some business to do, and he takes off. So you don't see him for a while. So so the first thing that uh, I think you want to do is uh, John doesn't have a clear direction as to what to do, because halfway was uh, was a little bit vague, right? So he was he was a little bit too vague, and you kind of don't know what to do. So you go wandering around, and you find out that citizens are disappearing. You find out that tourists are disappearing. Okay, you find out that what else do you find out? You find out that there's only one chicken franchise, and there's only one hotel that is actually open. You find out that the schools are closed, certain schools, and you're right trying to figure out stuff. Okay, so what else do you find? In fact, what do you discover that kind of leads you into another part? So now eventually we're going to find out that now you, as a person that kind of doesn't know what's going on, um, let me think. Okay, so why don't I just go to the big reveal that I've already wrote down in the plot point. and see if we can find a way to bridge the gap between when John arrives and halfway tells him to go check around, and this big midpoint, this big plot point. So they find out that the tourists are back to, this is going to actually be in the second part, and it's not even plot point. It isn't even a second plot point. It is a plot point though. You find out that the tourists, you find out that the citizens are being abducted to work the mines, and that the tourists have some other nefarious purpose that you don't know about just yet. Okay. So let me think here. The big midpoint, the big turning point is when you find out that the mines aren't just being mined for quicksilver, and but there's actually this huge machine, and what this machine is able to do is able to open huge portals, allowing armies to march through them. Huge armies, okay? That's your midpoint. That's your midpoint on the game. That's going to be in game number 3, or part number 3, and that's going to be in the middle of that thing. So we still have one of the things I can do is, because I've decided that there is going to be 5 parts, is where I put the plot points. So what I can do is I can actually put the two plot points, not the midpoint, but the two ones that I can put them at either end. So at the beginning of part 2 is where John comes in. So he comes in. I'm not sure how I do that, but probably it will end the probably it will end the part 1 on a cliffhanger. So the cliffhanger is they're bringing John in, and okay, so for part 2, you're basically, John is gathering information mostly, and you do various, there's going to be various quests and things that have to do with the various characters. Okay, so John's whole purpose is to discover information there at the beginning, right? See, I'm stuck. I'm kind of not stuck, but I'm kind of stuck. If you understand what I'm meaning. Because I'm not sure of all the nuances. I'm not sure what all. Let me think. Okay. So for the whole part of 2 is John just basically finding out some information. Let's see for a sec. See, there's no real goal in part 2, other than the command that Harold halfway gives him. So I guess that's kind of what I'm struggling with. What I want to know is, what's part 2 about? Part 1 is about halfway trying to figure out what's going on. I don't even know if that can sustain a full game, because, or a full part, or however you want to say it. And once the part's really small, which, if you think about it, Act 1 and Act 3 are usually the smaller parts, and then Act 2 is usually made up of, is usually the size of both parts together. So, story part 1 and part 2 would probably be shorter anyways, because that's when you introduce characters and the problem and all that. So I'm still kind of stuck, sort of. What's gonna be what's gonna be part of, what is dang it, how come this thing doesn't refresh? Okay. Well, like I said, I'm kind of stuck. Not really stuck though. Let's go to the story part here before I turn this off. Why is it doing that? Quit doing that. Okay. So, oh, interesting. That star must be... Anyways, doesn't matter. Halfway needs some outside help, so he enlists the young man to help him get to the bottom of things. And I can put... he tells the man named John to start looking around. By the way, I put this back here. And actually, I should just go ahead and end this video. Start looking around. And that will be back. Okay. We'll go with that right now. Okay. So we'll try this again. I'll try to pick up where I left off the next time though. So in a day or two we'll see that. We'll try to get to the bottom of this. And thanks for watching.